Hey folks, this is Vent with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Xenopurge. This is a game that just recently released on Steam's Early Access program for about $12, $13, something like that. And almost immediately it gave me Duskers vibes. Duskers is a game where you're commanding a group of robots throughout different space husks trying to get fuel and just trying to survive too, because there are enemies that are sort of crawling through the vents. It was really creepy, but it was also challenging in the sense that all of the control schemes were done via typing. Very little mouse interaction. And you're kind of doing the same thing with Xenopurge. There are unlockables, which is great. You've also got this Slay the Spire roguelike kind of map where you get to choose where you want to go next, go to the store to buy new equipment, and then maybe go off against elite enemies in this mission or what have you. But ultimately, you're given the squad and you're going to try and make it as far as you can. And you will be able to get new crew members as well, or new team members. I initially got two, but then I hired a third guy. And I even got a fourth one temporarily because one of my objectives for the mission was to escort a VIP. But ultimately, you're earning this gold currency, and you'll be spending it during your run to make your guys better, to change their logic. I'll get to that in a little bit. But you'll also be able to change like what weapons they're using, what behaviors they have, because unlike Duskers, where you control every single robot, tell them where to go, what doors to open, what abilities to activate, here everything is more autonomous in the sense that there is no micromanagement in the mission. You're stuck with watching them do their thing, but you do have limited control over issuing different orders. And these missions will be different. Like one tasked me with getting 3 different intel pieces in the environment and then extracting. One mission was escort the VIP to the extraction point. There was one mission where I had both. But you get to choose like 1 or 2 points to bring these team members, like where to deploy them. And from there, they just automatically do their thing. Again, there are commands that you can issue off to the left. If you tell one particular crew or team member to go into recon mode, they'll kind of go off on their own away from everyone else to explore the map more quickly. And that's kind of important because waves in this game are very short. Every wave, enemies will spawn out of like a Xeno hole, and they'll attack you. They're represented by little red bars, and there's a little symbol to the left. I'm guessing like a triangle or something. I'm thinking that represents what kind of xenotype they are, but I don't know too much about that yet. But you only get like 40, 50 seconds in between each wave, and a lot of my time was spent fighting the interface, trying to get them to do what I want them to do. Like, for example, 10 minutes, I've got 10 seconds until the next wave. I want them to group up, but trying to figure out how to get them to group up via the command actions is incredibly frustrating, and that leads to sometimes party wipes because I'm not fast enough to figure it out. There's no tactical pause button, so you're left with hitting buttons randomly until you figure it out and hope that you get what you want. And sometimes that doesn't always work. I do appreciate the style of it. Like, I do. But at the same time, I'm constantly fighting the interface. I'm constantly moving between screens, in between levels, and I have motion sickness, so watching that camera sway every time I change screens, that's pretty sickening sometimes. And there's also no windowed mode. Well, there is in the options menu, but you can't resize the window. There's no screen resolution options. You can't drag the window to be smaller. So while there is a windowed mode in the options menu, there's no way to change it. And there's also very limited mouse support. Like, there is a mouse, you can click on things, but it feels very floaty. It doesn't feel very responsive. And I think the game is really encouraging you to use your hotkeys, like the 1, 2, 3, and 4 keys, to issue these commands more quickly. Luckily, you don't have to type out full commands like you do in Duskers. In Duskers, you have to type C1 or A1 and then move to room whatever. Like, there's actually a whole list of commands that you have to memorize or look up on the fly, which can be annoying. This game streamlines that, luckily, but there's still some interface fighting. And it's a shame because, like, I'm enjoying the game. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm liking it. But lack of difficulty settings, lack of a pause, like a tactical pause, lack of a windowed mode, these are standard quality of life things that should be in games in 2025, and it's not. Now, I'm going to make exception for the fact that this game is early access and it just released into early access. So I'll make that exception. I'm going to thumb it up for now. But if this were a full-fledged game and it were released and not even early access, I'd give it a thumbs up, thumbs down kind of thing due to the lack of accessibility options. So as of right now, I'm enjoying it. It is frustrating on occasion, but I think it does more good than bad right now. So I'm going to thumb it up. But like I said, if I come back to this in a couple of years and it's no longer in early access and some of this stuff still hasn't been addressed, difficulty, windowed mode, resizing, that kind of thing, then yeah, I'm going to seriously think about giving it a neutral rating because these games should have something like that, accessibility-wise. But yeah, it's not bad. When I'm not fighting the interface and trying to figure out how to get something done, when I'm not doing that, it's fun. It's fun watching these guys move around trying to do their thing. I really feel that urgency as the clock is ticking and the enemies are getting stronger. I really like that end of it. And I like the upgrade system and the unlock system as well. So the game is doing good things. It has a lot of potential. So take a look at it. There is a demo if you want to try it before you buy it. This is Vince. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you all next time. Take care.